This could also explain why a mother, who no doubt is herself a Trump supporter, deferred to a man with a proven propensity to violence, given his involvement in the January 6th insurrection. She and others like her may perversely trust a man with questionable character and moral depravity because Christian patriarchy teaches us to do so. And that's a tough reality for any of us who ignored those red flags, rationalized the warning signs, and sensed something was off, yet thought we were doing the noble thing of being in proximity to the one who can't and shouldn't be trusted. For the sake of her children and her well-being, I hope she fully deconstructs from this and is taking steps to protect her children from the harm it causes. So now let's talk about Christian patriarchy and how it's connected to January 6th, because this is what keeps sitting heavy in my spirit, as they say. It's not simply about these men who were pardoned. It is what they believed because they were pardoned. That NPR article paints a disturbing picture of people who already saw themselves as righteous victims of persecution. And then they were elevated into patriotic heroes by a president and movement willing to rewrite January 6th entirely. And somewhere in that process, some of these men appear to have absorbed the belief that consequences no longer apply to them. The victim was told to stay quiet, or Johnson would get in trouble. Johnson then mailed the victim an iPhone to entice him to stay silent. Then, according to an article on NBC News, he also told the child that since he was being pardoned, now get this, for storming the Capitol on January 6th, and he was going to receive a reward of $10 million as a result of being a January 6er, that he would be putting this child in his will to take any money he had left over. And I want you to let that sink in. A child who was a victim of sexual abuse was given an iPhone and told to remain silent or his abuser would get in trouble. Then he was promised an undetermined amount of money when his abuser died. Are we grasping the level of mental abuse that is happening here? The court, in deciding that Johnson should not ever be close to society again by sentencing him to life in prison, no doubt took into consideration the level of psychological deviance Johnson portrayed by placing a bond between him and his victim that could essentially last for years. Decades even. You can find this entire video on my other channels. Be sure to subscribe to be notified when my latest teachings become available.